party people. Matrix Part Quattro? Is that how you say that? 4?
Matrix, the Resurrections.
Resurrection. Yeah. So, 1, 2, 3, Catra. Okay, Catra. I think I'm terrible at French.
Cat.
I'm not French. I'm terrible at it. But anyways, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Matrix.
Yeah.
And so how'd you feel about the movie, Tammy?
Amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I think they really succeeded in bringing that, the Matrix trilogy into the modern day. And, how they were able to weave in and integrate some aspects of the first 3 movies into the 4th. That was really cool that they were able to do that. And yeah, I thought it was amazing. I don't know what all these critics are talking about, how that's, rated at 65%. Like, what do they know?
Yeah, like, it actually ticks me off. I was concerned when I saw it. I was like, oh shit, I hope they didn't ruin it with all this bullshit wokeness that goes on, because I would freak out, because it would really bother me, but not at all. They didn't do any of that. Or I mean, it wasn't like, there's places when it's really blatant and it really sucks and it actually destroys the movement. But this was done really, really well, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. I mean, there's very rare times in a movie where I'm in the middle of a movie and like, this is the greatest movie I've seen. Like I was just in awe of it. I want to go see it again. So, and if that's even more rare, for me to want to go back, like literally sit in this theater again and watch it again, I mean, like that's so rare. There's maybe there's less than 5 movies in my whole life that I've seen that I'd want to see again, and this is one of those that whenever it comes out, I'm going to watch it wherever it is, and I want to buy it, and I want to support them as much as I can, because it just is so interesting. What did they make, like $30 million domestic, and Spider-Man made like what, 600 million?
Ugh.
And don't get me wrong, I like my Spider-Man movies, but I don't know if that's just maybe inclusion of everybody. Like if Matrix had more of a kid theme friendly, like I couldn't see kids really, unless they're a little bit older, right, and being able to understand. Like, and the thing was, the movie was quiet, which I was amazed.
Yeah.
The theater was empty and the movie was quiet. I was just like, this is the best movie experience I've ever had in my life. Like, and a recliner, it was just awesome. Awesome all around. There
was hardly anyone in the theater for us, and the people that were there seemed to be all couples.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to see that as well. But I found that throughout the movie, they put these little hints in of the Matrix, right? Of being in the Matrix. These little tiny things that you can pick up through the movie, and I was like, that's brilliant. Brilliant.
She was catching a lot more than I was, like the reflection of the people in the like, there were certain things that I would catch, certain things that she would catch, that we would tell each other, that it was really interesting to see the imagery, and I thought it was amazing how they interwove those other ones. Like, that's, no other movie has successfully done that. It's just it was just amazing all around. I recommend everybody in the world to buy it and watch it, because the reason why is money an issue? Because the more money that the movie makes, the better movie they'll be able to make for the sequel, if they do a sequel. Like, I would love to see a sequel in this, to see all the new characters and see where they go with it. Like, they had a bunch of unanswered questions in it. So but that's another thing that is very, very important to see. Movies, for me, is 50% of the movie is the ending. So how they end it, and is the ending complete to itself? Like, they can still leave cliffhangers and stuff like that, but is what they tried to do complete to itself? And they pulled that off. So
yeah, it was complete in itself. Like, they don't need to make another one to go along with it, but they can, and it's so like, you feel complete at the end of it. So
what would you rate it?
9 out of 10.
I'd give it 100. I'd give it 1 million if I could, just to offset all the haters out there. I can't stand oh man. I was because now that I've watched them and reading a lot of it, and I'm just like, what movie were you watching? Like, it was just, I just can't. It just makes me so angry, those haters, and they just drag down the whole thing. It just, yeah. Anyways, but
I do 9 out of 10 only because I've never given a movie 10 out of 10. I don't know. But this is one that I would watch again. It's something that is rewatchable and
absorb a new thing out of it.
And also to see what else is in there, right? Like what we caught the first time around, but this is something that there's so much symbolism in it that rewatching it, you're going to pick up, you know, all those other little things. And even a third time watching it, you're going to find things that you didn't find the second time. So
I rewatched all the 3 right before I went to go see it. So that was a real benefit to do it, because then I was getting all the little Easter egg things, or the little like meanings and everything like that. I knew
weaved in there.
Yeah. So maybe that's why, because people didn't bother to watch the other ones.
Maybe.
And they just, because if you wouldn't, then maybe I got more of a complete view, I think, of it by watching the whole thing, which is how it's going to be watched anyways in the future, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, definitely. I give it 1,000,000 out of 10.
Yeah, it was great. Definitely recommend.